I am in Oakland, Maryland. I'm at a really awesome war memorial. Before we get started, to you good folk of Maryland, let's talk about the shape of your state, because it's weird. I had to look it up as to why Maryland looks the way it does. Well, it turns out that the states of Pennsylvania and Virginia, now remember, West Virginia wasn't around then yet, it was all Virginia, and Delaware, they took what they wanted. And Maryland, this strange shape, that's what was left over. And there you have it, the odd shape of the state of Maryland. Now, what's the state name? Where did it come from? Well, Maryland was named after Queen Henrietta Maria. She was the wife of King Charles of England. This is pretty fantastic, isn't it? Now, of course, Maryland has done pretty well, because DC got carved out of there, and there's a county courthouse over here. Let's go take a look. DC got carved out of there, and the parts of Maryland, the towns, etc., that are around DC are very prosperous, and Maryland is usually first or second in terms of highest incomes in the United States. But this little part of Maryland I'm going to explore, and I'm going to show you on the map right now, it's been kind of forgotten. A real quiet part of the state that's very rarely seen. And that's why I'm here, guys. I'm going to show it to you. Cool. And there it is. The Garrett County Courthouse. Oakland is the county seat. That was built in 1908. That is Renaissance Revival. Italian Renaissance Revival. So it takes its cues from 16th century Italy. And a pretty little downtown right here. Straight down the street. There's about 1,900 people here in Oakland, and the population's just kind of hung around between 1,700 and 2,000 for the past 100 years. Well, it's a beautiful little downtown, isn't it? I'm going to give you a few numbers. Median household income here is $59,900. It's about $11.52 a week. And by the way, I'm not going to show you the charts in this video, because I'm going to show you a lot of towns today, and it would just take me too long. So I'm just going to tell you what's going on. Poverty here is pretty good, 14% overall. And the town is 94% white, 2% Hispanic, 2% Asian, 1% black. The rest is mixed race. And the cost of living here, we'll show you this index real quick. It's a 97. That's a little high, but then look at the state of Maryland. Woo! Look at housing in Maryland, 150. Yeah, but housing here is a 102. Crime here is real low. Last year, 11 incidents per 1,000 people. That compares to 23 for the US, so crime here is less than half what it is in the rest of the US altogether. Yeah, the Oakland train station. Hopefully you can see that with the sun. This was built in 1884, and it is Victorian architecture, which makes sense. That was very popular in the late 1800s. I want to make sure you get a good look at it. Now this part you can see, it's right in the sun. And it's quite beautiful, and they've got a old locomotive here. Let me get on the other side so you can see it better. that something? Yeah, I'm over here on the other side now. No climbing. Maybe I can look here. Looks pretty comfortable in there, doesn't it? All right. They have an amazing old New Deal post office here. Let's go find that. The Oakland post office, built in 1940. This is New Deal architecture. They always put murals in these so as to employ an artist. At the time, the mural in here is supposed to be particularly awesome. Let's see if we can check it out. And this is it. It's called Buckwheat Harvest.
Wait, is that what you're saying?
Make sure you get a good look at it real quick.
We have the envelopes over there you can use.
All right, I'm just about a block out of downtown. Let's check out a couple of houses. Median home value here is $247,000. I have arrived in the town of Accident, Maryland. I'm going to drive through the downtown. Just take a quick look. I freely admit I came here because of the name. Who doesn't want to see a town that's called Accident? Population here about 330 people. Yeah, very small. A little more than a wide spot in the road. This is pretty much it here. Well, the thing you notice about driving around Accident is the houses are really nice, and they've got huge yards, lots of space. Could get used to that, huh? Now, do you know what they call people who live in Accident? Accidentals. Yeah. Well, let's get a look-see of little downtown Friendsville. They've got a nice pub here, Ken's Irish Pub. That looks like the place to hang out at, doesn't it? I guess we'll take a quick look at a street or two. Lots of quaint little houses. And church. Anchor Church. Well, they are ready to put out a fire here, aren't they? Or fires. That is a big fire department for a town of a little over 400 people. I am in Grantsville, Maryland. There's about 1,000 people here. Let's take a quick look at the downtown. They've got a big Dollar General right here on the main street, it looks like. A lot of homes right here on the main street. Well, yeah, I guess I'm just about through it. Let's take a look at a residential area or two. Here Here's a typical street in Grantsville. And it looks really nice, doesn't it? Now this is Castleman Inn. This was built in 1842. It was a place that people, pioneers in covered wagons, would stop on their way out west to tame the wild American frontier. Well, there's the interstate, but I'm not going to go that way. Yeah, I'm going to go the back roads. I'm still making my way to the next town. You don't really think of this when you think of Maryland, do you? Yeah, I saw this old, it looks like a house here. There's a bunch of no trespassing signs, so I'm not going to go on there, but I can at least get a bit of a look, can't I? I don't think they'll mind. That's crazy. Someone used to live here in this very quiet place. It's awesome. Alright guys, I've just arrived at Westernport, Maryland. It's pretty interesting already, isn't it? Obviously I'm in residential, but let's see, I'm going to head into downtown, looks like. In this direction. Pretty amazing looking. Oh, got some abandoned houses here, it looks like, though. Let me give you population real quick, history. 1920, there were almost 4,000 people here. A little over 1,800 now. So, yeah, we're seeing a bit in the way of abandoned homes. That makes sense, doesn't it? That's a lot of population gone. All right, well, let's get to the downtown and see what we can find. The median household income here is $52,000 a year, right at $1,000 a week. Overall poverty here is 22%. This town is 97% white and then 3% Hispanic. Let's see some of the really old residences right here on the main street. Let's see, cost of living's in 81. And I checked crime. It's pretty good here. 14 incidents per 1,000 people. 23 per 1,000 is the U.S. crime rate. So, yeah, they've got lower crime here. And, well, let me give you one more. The median home value here is $85,800. Yeah, so housing is pretty inexpensive here. And that's pretty much it for downtown. Yeah, now this church up ahead is the St. Peter Catholic Church. It's built in 1873. Looks like some people are doing a little touch-up painting there. And you can see a lot of amazing old houses here right next to it. That is awesome, isn't it? Rusted old gas pumps. Some old houses here. Well, these are, a lot of them are abandoned. Reminds you of West Virginia here, this part of Maryland. Really neat looking old houses though. Alright, I am in Lonaconing, Maryland. I'm approaching downtown. As you can see, a lot of beautiful old houses along the street here. There's about 1,000 people here. Back in 1940, there were 2,500 people. So the town has dropped some population. Looks really nice though, doesn't it? Beautiful church there. Let's take a turn here, shall we? Well, looks like I'm in residential. That's pretty neat. Median household income here is $44,000 a year. It's about $845 a week. Poverty is 27%. U.S. is 12%, by the way, though. So all these towns, poverty is a little over twice higher than the U.S. Well, me and this truck are not going to be able to do this, so I'm going to have to pull over and let him go by. Let's do that. Alright, back out on the road. A couple more numbers. 94% of the town is white. 3% Hispanic, 1% Asian, rest that's mixed race. And I didn't get cost of living, they didn't have it. Median home value though here is $77,600. Well, I couldn't very well come to Lonaconing and not show you this. Lonaconing furnace, built in 1836. And it was obviously for the iron and coal production here in the town. Well, let's see, I'm making my way into Frostburg, Maryland. Oh, lots of beautiful old homes lining the main street here. Making my way to the downtown. $51,000 a year. That's what people make here, household income. A little less than $1,000 a week. And poverty here is a 27.8%. Again, that is over twice higher than the U.S., which is 12%. 82% of this town is white, 12% black, 2% Hispanic, 2% Asian. The rest is mixed race. And the cost of living here is a 90. The U.S. is a 100, so cost of living here is a little bit lower. And here we are, downtown. It's looking pretty fantastic, isn't it? So far. This is home to Frostburg State University. So this is a college town. It's about 5,400 students. So it's not huge, but it's big enough to keep the town hopping, I'm thinking. Because it sure looks like what's happening here. Holy cow, look at some of these churches. You can see the towers in the distance here already. And sounds like I can hear some bells. Oh, you can't miss that, can you? Alright, well, I got one more town to show you guys, and it's the biggest one. So let's head there right now. I am in Cumberland, Maryland. I'm going to enter the downtown right now. As you can see, it is absolutely delightful. Beautiful. It's a good word for it. Huh. I again went through these message boards on Reddit and real estate websites, and I didn't get a lot of positivity from a lot of the residents. Didn't have very nice things to say about the city, but so far, at least this part of it, it's quite beautiful. Now the city is struggling. Mid-1900s, it was a manufacturing powerhouse, but that's all declined. In 1940, the population, here's the chart, 39,483. It's down to 19,076 last census, and it's down to just a little over 18,000 now. So the town has been struggling. I read, or actually I didn't read, I saw a video on YouTube, local news broadcast, and it was just a few months ago that said that the city was offering people $20,000 to move here. So yeah, they really want to get some fresh blood in the city. That is obvious to see. Median household income here is just under $48,000. So that's about $850 a week. Poverty is 23.5. That is just about twice higher than the U.S. Here's the ethnic breakdown. The town is 87% white, 6% black, 2% Hispanic, 1% Asian. The rest is mixed race. And cost of living is an 85. Housing's lowest at 61. Anyway, okay. Yeah, I just went and showed you those charts. I'll go ahead and give you some shots of this beautiful downtown though. It's really nice. And there's a few people here. I mean, it's not packed, but a few people are hanging around here. There's a few sites I want to see. George Washington has headquarters here. And that cabin, I believe, is still in existence, and we can check it out. And this was where the Chesapeake and Ohio Canal ended from Washington, D.C. So they used to transport lots of goods by water, by canal, between here and D.C. We should be able to see that. And the Cumberland Road, also called the National Road, began here. Went all the way to Illinois, just north of St. Louis. The town's got quite a bit of history. One problem it does have is crime, though. I looked up the crime numbers. Last year they had 49 incidents per 1,000 people. That is twice higher than the U.S. at 23. Wonder where that train is. Alright, so let's go check out some other stuff. Cumberland is the county seat for Allegheny County. This is the Allegheny County Courthouse. Built in 1893. This is Richardsonian Romanesque architecture. My favorite. It takes its cues from ancient Rome, but with Henry Richardson's special little flourishes added. It's got a statue here in the front. I was wondering if this was Washington, and it is. There you go. As I said earlier, George Washington spent quite a bit of time here. Yeah, First Presbyterian Church, built in 1852. And that is, of course, look at those lancel windows. Gothic architecture. And a look into downtown Cumberland. I don't care what those naysayers say about the city. I like it. It's quite beautiful, at least so far. All right, looking down Baltimore Street. I believe that's what it is, right? Baltimore Street, the downtown. And let's head this way. I'm trying to get you a shot of this church here, Emmanuel Episcopal. I can't figure out how to get up there. You can tell this is an old road, and it goes up to this church here, Emmanuel Episcopal. Hopefully you can see that pretty good. And gee, someone is going to have to help me out with this. I'm not sure what that is. It's a beauty though. This monument marks where the National Road begins. This was the first road that was federally planned and funded. Kind of a warm-up to our interstate system, I guess you could say. Right next to it, this is where George Washington had his headquarters. I believe it was for the French and Indian War. Let's see if we can see inside, shall we? I'm assuming it can't go in. Headquarters of George Washington. Man, this has been here a long time, hasn't it? 1755, it says. And, well, we can see the inside. Kinda, a little bit. Can you see that? And let me see if I can. George Washington slept in there. Walked on this porch. Man, it gives me chills. There's the Potomac River. I'm making a bit of a curve there and heading towards Washington, D.C. That is Ridgely, West Virginia, over there on the other side. And this is Wills Creek. There he goes. Yeah, got the 3 guys over there swimming. I guess it's pretty deep there. Interesting. And there's a railroad depot there. I'm going to take a look at that. Alright, we are crossing the tracks. I'm underneath a major highway here, as you can tell. Or road, anyway, that goes into downtown. Cumberland, its nickname is the Queen City. It's called that because at one time it was the 2nd largest city in the state, right behind Baltimore. Yeah, they've done a beautiful job with this here in Cumberland. The Western Maryland Railway Station. This was built in 1913 and used up into the mid-70s. I think it's a museum now. Now there in the distance is the county courthouse, middle frame there. And downtown is over here. This is where the Chesapeake and Ohio Canal begins or ends, either or. And it would haul goods to Washington, D.C. A major business thoroughfare back in its day. Yeah, how about that, huh? Of course, it's no longer used to transport cargo, but it is good to see that there are some creatures getting some use out of it. So, yeah, I guess they would load the cargo here. And then the barge or boat, what is it called? You guys will have to help me. But I believe on either side they had what's called a towpath, and that is where a horse would pull the barge, or horses. Yeah, they would attach some ropes and the horses would just trot like I am right now along the side, and it would pull the barges, and they would do that all the way to Washington, D.C. Well, I've worked up quite an appetite, guys. It's about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and I have yet to have anything to eat yet. I'm fasting today, but it's time to end the fast, especially for what I'm told are some really good hot dogs. Probably my favorite food. So I'm gonna get some.
How's it going, bud? We're gonna have our brown mustard. We already topped it with our famous chili sauce.
Yeah.
Then we're going to do our final topping over here, our raw diced onion. That's your number 1.
I'm looking forward.
Sliced Americana.
I'm looking forward to it.
Right there it is.
Awesome.
Known around the world.
All right, everyone, I am ready to eat. Let's see how good these are. I've got a Coke too. I think it's going to hit the spot though. Well, I'm happy to say these are incredible. Chili is amazing. Onions, perfect amount. Everything's really good. And let me tell you guys, this is exactly what I wanted right now. The gentleman cooking the food brought this out for me. Apparently this is one of their house specialties. It is vanilla Coke, or vanilla cola. It is really good too. Well, I just drove straight out of downtown. Check out some houses. pretty amazing. Wow. These are, well, they're incredible. I mean, I guess there's not a lot of money in this town now, but boy, you can tell there used to be. Would you look at that? I mean, you know, I could live in it. What do you guys think? You ready for the median home value of this town? $120,800. I mean, what? I'm gonna guess you couldn't get one of these for that price. Anyway, I don't know. If they could get the crime straightened out, that's the only bad thing I can see in this town. Otherwise, it's got some beautiful neighborhoods. The downtown is absolutely gorgeous and looks like they're developing it really nicely. It's got some tourist business to be seen, to promote. Yeah, I'm a big fan of this town. I mean, I know there's probably bad parts of town too, but what I've seen so far, it's quite nice. All right, everyone, that's going to be the end of this one. Up next, we are heading up to Pennsylvania, up into Pittsburgh. I'm actually going to tour some suburbs of Pittsburgh that are struggling, and then Nicole and I together will poke around and take a look at Pittsburgh at the end of that video. Yeah, so we will see you guys there.